Crystal Palace are in the FA Cup final, and that's why I started this channel, to be able to watch a football game and then come and talk to you guys about it, because you feel something, and I felt something there. That was proper. That was iconic. That was cup final football. And what I mean by that is this was a team that had worked all season long for that game. And at half time, 47 minutes, I screenshotted the average positions, because I went and looked at it and I thought, this is exactly what Glasner has wanted. It's what he's been working for the whole season long. You know, the only other video that's on this channel about Crystal Palace is it's Dan from HLTCO, who I'm sure will probably have a look at this at some point. And mate, congratulations, stuff of dreams, man, and we'll get to that. But everything is in place, and what we were talking about in that video is that, yeah, okay, it feels a little bit boring with Palace, because it feels like they're not going anywhere, and that's the only thing that was missing. It's a team that's done it the right way. It's a team full of character. I was talking to my mate Finn, my editor, who yesterday I was like, I've got a soft spot for Palace because I like what they're about. And Finn said, yeah, they're real. They are, and we'll go through that. But this is a well-coached team with the right kind of profile of players that it's taken a minute for it to go and click. And of course, when you've got a squad that's not got outrageous depth, then that's going to make life a little bit harder for you, and you're going to sort of fall away in certain games. But it's got a little mix of everything. And this is why I went and screenshotted this average position of 47 minutes, because I thought everyone here is doing their job. And that's what cup final football is about. There's a question at the end of this which is a bit more kind of realistic and not something I want to put in the middle of the video, because I don't want to spoil the moment here, because in Palace I see, you know, and Palace fans won't want to hear this, but I get to have a different conversation with Palace fans, because that is a London club that bounced up and down, that got up, that ran itself properly with the right people, and is now a stable Premier League club with really, really, really exciting players. And then from there, you give yourself a chance when you can kind of match it up with a really good coach and the right kind of profile, the right kind of recruitment, and the right kind of identity as a team and as a club. It's a club that kind of, you could, you know, Tyrick Mitchell and Eze in that team, and Nketiah coming on, Mateta with his tash, like these, and his tucked in shirt. This is a team, Wharton, who's just like hard as stone but classy with it. This is a really Gay, who, you know, disregarded by Chelsea, but there's clearly an amazing footballer there, and there's clearly an incredible leader there as well. All these guys, Henderson as well, these are people with personality. These are players with personality. And today, on one of the biggest days of their career, they all did their job, and they did their job so well. And I'm not trying to have a go at Aston Villa fans here, or Aston Villa, right? I've lauded Aston Villa in the last couple of weeks about the PSG victory and them as a squad. And this proves my point when I'm talking about this league this year and the quality that's in this league. That Aston Villa team has just been absolutely smashed to a point in a very cute, clever way by a Palace team, despite Villa having a lot of the ball. They've been pretty rampant here, Palace, right? And this is a Palace team that no one thinks is anything, and they've just beaten Villa, and that Villa team's been able to beat a PSG team. So don't talk to me about this league being weak. It's just not true for me, because anyone can beat anyone, and Palace showed that. Let me explain what I mean about this, because what I wanted to go and see was that you could see Munoz was that little bit higher. Tyrick Mitchell kind of sitting in just a little bit so that Eze could get on the ball here. Ismail Assar being able to kind of, start in this position here, but to have the legs and the energy that he had. And we can go and have a look at the goals. And, the goals coming from his ability to run in these channels, but then therefore allowing someone like Eze to be able to go into the areas that he wants to get into. And that double pivot of Kamada and Wharton, who both were great. And Tyrick Mitchell, of course, he misses a sitter in the first half. Huge chances throughout the game for Palace. But he continues to do his job and makes life very hard against a team that's got quality, real quality, that can hurt you from wide areas. Lacroix as well. What an incredible acquisition he has been this year. Richards as well, coming in, maybe taking him a second to get it going, but stepping in and doing brilliant work. And then, of course, that man, Mateta, as well. This is exactly, we did a video for the Premier League looking at Palace, and it was this. It was exactly this. Let's have a look to the tactics board, because we can go through it. I'm sure Palace fans would be quite happy for me to go through this today. This might not look as good as I want it to. Where are we? There we are. We're fine. It'll do. The system, it all came together today. And I do want to kind of go through each player, because Henderson stepped up. And this is what I mean. This is what I mean about cup final football. And yes, this is a semi-final. But when it becomes these kind of games, and it's not like, well, they might be up for it, we're possibly up for it, you're both up for it. And when you're both up for it, you have to do your job to a level that's higher than it's been done before. There's no excuses. There's no room for that. But if you get your mentality right, which I could just see in this team today, then you are going to make yourself a little bit unstoppable. And Henderson, coming for punches, being smart with certain saves of, from the edge of the box as well, big saves, personality as a goalkeeper. I think he's been massively underrated this year, probably by myself as well. But you need personalities like Henderson in games like this, where probably overall you are the underdog against an incredibly strong Aston Villa squad and first team. That back three, I thought the way they sort of would move back and defend a little bit deeper at times was absolutely superb. Mark Gay, superb. Richards, every cross that came in, Lacroix as well, just getting rid of it, and they were happy to do that. If you think of the Man United team and how they want to play, is one thing. It's kind of similar in some ways, but there's a few factors that are different. And it's that front line, but it's also the way that they defend, often a bit more narrow to allow them to go wide, because one-on-one, you're not worried about Munoz and Mitchell. And this is why I was looking at those average positions, because Munoz on the energy, time and time again, getting up and down, being an attacking threat, but he also kind of playing those crosses in from deep. But also you've got someone like Sarr who's stretching it as well. So they're together, they're a partnership. Mateta linking up, spinning and then going. Obviously misses the penalty, and he's always got a chance of missing the penalty when it's someone like Martinez, because he's just, the word aura comes to mind when it comes to Martinez, and it kind of can put you off. Eze, you guys know I absolutely adore Eze, but do you know what I thought? I thought Thomas Tuchel would be watching this, and he probably won't have the same kind of maybe bias that a lot of us have when we're talking about players at big clubs. This lad, in the tightest of spaces, gets on the ball, keeps the ball every single time, affects the game, wins the penalty, scores the goal. He's outrageous. He's absolutely outrageous. And I wondered if, the meteoric rise that he's had. And let's talk about that. EFL football. Through the academy. EFL football. And Eze is one of those. And you wonder, and I thought it with England as well at times. Can he acclimatise? Can he believe in himself enough to be the difference? And Eze, for this team, since they've kind of been able to get the shape and the team that they want together, he is an X factor. He is an incredible X factor, and it told today. And he turned himself into if he wasn't a hero before, he absolutely is now. Because this is a third FA Cup final for Palace, but to win it in that way, in that fashion, it was hard work, but the energy was it was infinite from this Palace team, and it really, really was, from a tactical point of view for me, the culmination of what you want. As I say, Mitchell has a moment here, doesn't he, when he's, his eyes lit up. But that kind of helps with the folklore of it all. He's not that guy. But what he does do, he's back here. He's working hard for the team. He's making tackle after tackle. He's cutting one out here, which essentially saved a goal in the second half for the team. And okay, he's not world class from an attacking point of view, but he did what he's great at brilliantly today. Eze did exactly the same. And as I say, in terms of that balance, in terms of the ability to have one who can go, one who'll stay and spin. And also, he'll stay, pop it off and go. But Eze, he'll get it and he'll go himself. Wharton, by the way, can we just take a second to talk about this lad? Sensational. And again, we're talking about personality and story, right? This is a character. This is a lad who keeps himself to himself, but on a football pitch is everything you'd want. Wins tackles, reads the game, dives in but in the right fashion, gets the ball and plays it quickly. You know, you see it for the goals. They were just non-stop. Villa just had one of those days, and there was a lot of talk about them being tired. I wouldn't say they were. Then you're not tired for a cup final. You're just not. What I would say might have been the case, of course you've got to play on the Tuesday, is in comparison to what Palace had in their locker today, they look tired. That's a different entity of tiredness and fitness. And so they made them quit a little bit here. You just kind of knew it was their day. I thought it was just the most complete, well-rounded, fantastic performance, exactly when you need it. And in my experience of playing football, which is very, very low and means absolutely nothing, but when it comes to a cup final, that's where your real guys turn up. And I know it's not a cup final. I know I keep saying it's a cup final, but it's at Wembley. Everyone's losing their minds. It is a cup final. It's that kind of game. There's another 10% that's needed. And you saw it today from this Palace team. And the question I have to ask is, can they do that again? Can you do that twice? What Glasner needs to unlock here is not the tactical side. That is there. It's well rooted. For Gamada as well, you know, in terms of him coming in, starting ahead of Will Hughes after a really tough season, stepped up and did really, really well. And it fits. It works. The profiles work. And especially against a team that might have the ball that little bit more than you, i.e. Man City, if they do get through, of course, against Forest. Can they do this performance again? Maybe they can. That's what Glasner needs to work on. It's the psychological side of like, that's the standard. Not like, oh, we're happy to be here. No, you need to go to a new place. This team today went to a new place. Absolutely outstanding. Palace fans, scream in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this one. I am so fucking jealous, again, of you guys. But at the same time, you're giving me a little bit of a hope. Maybe in a decade, this kind of thing could happen to my team. But for today, it's your day. Congratulations to Mike, Dan, Finn, any other Palace fans that I know as well. Today's your day. Huge, huge win. Incredible.